Coming to you live from our studios in Auckland Park, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the top stories. The ANC's National Working Committee is meeting to discuss issues relating to the GNU. Gauteng police have launched a manhunt for a group of unknown gunmen who opened fire and killed 3 men in Soweto. And it has been a difficult day for international markets as the US tariffs continue to have a negative impact on global trade. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on 3. An absolute pleasure it is to be in your company this evening. I am Paulette Now. The ANC's National Working Committee is meeting at Luthuli House to discuss issues relating to the Government of National Unity. The meeting follows the passing of the 2025-2026 budget last Wednesday, where key coalition partner, the DA, voted against the budget. Meanwhile, political analyst Professor Begim Gomezulu says that the GNU simply cannot ignore concerns raised by the business sector.
There is a problem with the two major parties in this 10-member coalition. The ANC has its own problems, and of course the DA has its own problems. But the common denominator between the two is that both of them seem to be having an identity crisis, in the sense that the ANC operates on the premise that it is still the governing party, which is no longer the case. And then, of course, the DA is under the illusion that it is still the official opposition, which is also not the case. They are part of the collective, and therefore whatever decisions they make those decisions as a collective, and they are the government of the day together with the other political parties. But then if one of them decides to bully the other members, even a member that has a party that only has one member in that coalition, it is still as important as the party that has 20 or more members, because that is the nature of a coalition government. Until they understand that, then of course the future of this coalition is in jeopardy.
As interest continues to grow on the fate of the DA in the Government of National Unity, the second largest party in the GNU's federal executive is expected to hold a meeting this evening. Amongst others, the meeting will deal with the current tension and its position within the GNU. Last week, the Democratic Alliance voted against the fiscal framework, refusing to support its partner, the ANC, in the GNU. There has been calls for the DA to be removed from the GNU, reasons being that the party cannot preside on a budget they refused to support. Deputy President Paul Mashatile says the biggest challenge facing government is making sure it functions effectively. Mashatile was speaking at the inaugural Ahmed Kathrada Legacy Business Breakfast in Johannesburg.
Addressing investor and market concerns around the stability of the Government of National Unity amid the fallout between the ANC and DA, Deputy President Paul Mashatile says they remain committed to ensuring government functions.
That's really our biggest consideration. And we will discuss this morning to say how do we move forward. All parties in the GNU will be consulted.
Mashatile says clarity on the future of the GNU should emerge by the end of today. This as the ANC's National Working Committee meets to discuss the next steps after the DA voted against the 2025 fiscal framework for the national budget. Mashatile says if the DA wants to remain part of the GNU, it needs to support the budget.
Remember, we're not done. We're just voting for the fiscal framework. The appropriation bill is coming. There are a lot of money bills that are lined up coming. So now that they've not voted for the fiscal framework, it set the tone of what they will do with the appropriation bill, division of revenue bill. Those things are still coming.
Mashatile says the 0.5 percentage point VAT increase is aimed at assisting the government get through this financial year, adding that they will continue to monitor how international developments, particularly around tariffs, might have an impact on domestic growth. Meanwhile, the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation's Nishan Bolton emphasized the need to address challenges in local government, particularly in Johannesburg, saying the city needs a clear vision that residents can support.
And if we can get that done before the 2026 election, that leaves the challenge of the quality of leaders who come into the city, which is really going to be the biggest challenge.
The business breakfast comes amid heightened uncertainty for South Africa, both economically and politically, with this forum driving talks to, among others, uphold the democratic project Ahmed Kathrada gave his life to protect. Nosipho Khatebe, SABC News, Johannesburg.
IFP President Velinkosini Hlabisa says his party stands by its decision to support the 2025 fiscal framework approved by Parliament last week. This comes amid a budget deadlock between the ANC and the DA, which has led to the DA taking legal action over the VAT hike.
We entered the election believing that it was time to put South Africa first. We pledge that a vote for the IFP in 2024 on both the national and provincial ballots will strengthen the voice of integrity in the incoming government. As part of the current government of national unity, we indeed remain that voice of reason. We are indeed the voice of integrity, and our voice is indeed one that brings sensible, constructive solutions to the table. The reality is that South Africa's economy has stagnated over the past many years, and billions have been lost over these years to disinvestment.
Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. Now for this, Gauteng police have launched a manhunt for a group of unknown gunmen following a deadly shooting in Mofolo Central in Soweto. 3 men believed to be taxi marshals were shot and killed after a silver grey vehicle approached them and opened fire on them. Police say the suspects fled the scene shortly after the attack. High-caliber cartridges were recovered and the area was cordoned off as an active crime scene. Details surrounding the incident are still unclear. High-caliber cartridges were found at the crime scene, but no arrests have been made as yet.
I can confirm that 3 people were shot and killed this morning around about 8 o'clock. The vehicle that they were traveling in was coming from the direction of Mofolo village, traveling towards Dube. It was on Zulu Street. High caliber cartridges were found on the scene. At this stage, no one has been arrested. However, I can assure that police are working non-stop to make sure that the suspects are arrested. Gauteng Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Mtombeni has raised concern about the issues of taxi violence in the area and ensuring citizens of Gauteng that this incident, no stone will be left unturned.
It has been a difficult day for international markets as the U.S. tariffs continue to have a negative impact on global trade. The world is bracing itself for a new balance of power as the United States is changing its trade relations with other countries.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence.
The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, making sweeping historic announcement on trade relations. This affected the global economic politics. Many expected this announcement. The new tariffs will render AGOA ineffective. South Africa has not been spared the fallout.
In this instance, we work on the basis that it has nullified the AGOA benefits. In particular categories, there are areas where there have been specific exclusions, and Minister Lamuna indicated the areas of specific exclusion. It does also exclude areas such as auto, which is calculated on the basis of the across-the-board 25% increase in auto tariffs to the US. So that's covered in a different platform, which is on the automotive sector.
Cyril Ramaphosa has also weighed in.
The United States, like any other country, is a sovereign country, and they are entitled to take decisions in whichever way they want to, like ourselves. We are a sovereign country and we can decide on any matter that has to do with our international dealings with others, and so it is within our right as it is within their right. They have imposed tariffs and we are examining the impact of those tariffs on us, and as the Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition said, we will be able to state what our position is.
The World Trade Organization has cautioned against retaliatory action, as this might plunge the world into a recession. The United States of America has taken a tough stance on multilateral trade, and it is unlikely that Washington will listen to the World Trade Organization. Sophie Mkwena, SABC News, Johannesburg.
More rain is expected in parts of the Free State, while persistent downpours have already caused flooding in some areas. The levels of many dams and rivers in that province has since risen last week, with some storage dams reaching a full capacity.
Authorities are on high alert as the autumn rains continue in many parts of the country. Communities have been warned to steer clear of flooded rivers. Some dams in the Free State are overflowing after the heavy rains.
This particular heavy rains, they have more impact around flooding, especially where these dams are really overflowing, and we've got high flows, and in which most areas, for instance, the area of Masosport, which on our side in the inside the Free State, the inner part of Mangau Metro, there was a heavy rains, and we noticed that definitely some of the modern river, they are starting to indicate the flooding patterns, behavior.
We are on the alert, but we have brought in some of our stakeholders that will be assisting us in making sure that those people who are closer to the dams must either get out or we assist them in evacuating.
The South African Red Cross Society is on standby to assist those affected by the heavy rains.
As you can see that now we are busy packaging food parcels for those that have been affected by the floods. But other than that, with the support that we have received from the Department of Copter, we were able to respond swiftly.
The Mangaung Metro municipality has urged residents to be cautious on the roads and in their homes as more downpours are expected. Ishmael Mudiba, SABC News, Bloemfontein.
The Western Cape High Court, sitting in Saldanha Bay on the Cape West Coast in connection with the Joslin Smith disappearance, has heard that accused number 1, Jaquina Polis, confessed that they sold the child. He told this to a police officer who took down his confession, Colonel Adrian Pretorius of the Serious and Violent Crimes Unit in the Western Cape.
The two accused allege that police tortured them into giving their so-called confessions in March last year. Police, Van Ryn and Joslin's mother, Kelly Smith, are on a trial for the child's disappearance in the kidnapping and trafficking case. Police's legal counsel, Fanny Aramse, quizzed Colonel Pretorius.
And he talked about the Monday when they took the child.
The context was that on the Sunday, she told him about the plan, if one can call it that, and the reasons, therefore.
Correct, my lord.
Then at about 12 o'clock, the time that we dealt with earlier, when she came home, she told him, but she had spoken to Makalima about the money already.
That is correct, my lord.
Officer who escorted Apollos to the doctor, Warrant Officer Heinrich Schmidtland, testified that the accused had injuries.
Ek was op die 5de Maart versoek om vir Joslin Apollos na die hospitaal te vergesel.
My Lord, I was requested to accompany Joslin Apollos to the hospital.
Ek het om 8:38 die oggend vir Joslin Apollos by die seegrenseenheid ontvang.
About 8 o'clock, 8:30 the morning, I received Joslin Apollos at the sea border officers.
Ek het gemerk dat hy beserings aan hom het.
I noticed that he's got injuries on him.
It continues on Tuesday with Sergeant David Fortin still on the stand for cross-examination. Mlamli Maneli, SABC News, Cape Town.
Well, with that, time to see what the weather has in store for us.
Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at what to expect weather-wise for tonight as well as tomorrow, seeing fog patches along the western coastline and in places over the eastern parts of the country. Otherwise, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions with a broad band of isolated to scattered showers and thunder showers, mainly widespread over the northern Cape, the northwest and parts of the Free State. Now, tomorrow, still expecting partly cloudy to cloudy conditions, isolated to scattered showers and thunder showers, except over the extreme northeastern parts. It will be widespread, however, over the western part of the northwest into the Free State, the eastern part of the northern Cape, all the way to the southern part of the country. We do start off with early morning fog patches over the western, southeastern, as well as the eastern part of the country. Now, the South African Weather Service has issued a yellow level 4 warning for severe thunderstorms over the eastern part of the northern Cape, becoming a yellow level 2 over the northwest, the Free State and Mpumalanga, and the northern part of the eastern Cape. Tomorrow, including the central and southern part of KwaZulu-Natal. Now, those storms possibly resulting in heavy downpours of rain, strong damaging winds, large amount of small hail or excessive lightning. Now, overnight temperatures seeing Bloemfontein down to 16, Cape Town and George at 17, Fasia in Johannesburg, expecting an overnight low of 15, peaking at 23 tomorrow, while Appleton is expecting a maximum of 26, East London peaking at 27. On Wednesday, seeing some clearance over the western parts of the country. It will be cool to warm across most parts of the country, partly cloudy skies over the southern central as well as the eastern parts, with isolated to scattered showers and thunder showers in places. That's your weather. Do stay tuned to SABC News.
That concludes our time together this evening. Much gratitude for joining us. Until next time, it's good night and God bless.